Hey everyone, Dr. Sunil Dand, internal medicine physician. Welcome to another excellent video because this is going to be an excellent explanation of a crucial concept by which huge swathes of the medical establishment, big pharmaceutical companies, and sadly a lot of doctors manage to fool a lot of people. And I've shared with you before, briefly, the difference and importance of distinguishing between relative risk reduction and absolute risk reduction. But I'm going to share an explanation with you from Dr. Timothy Kelly. Dr. Kelly is a doctor in the United Kingdom. He went to the same university as me, Cardiff University. He now practices in the great nation of Scotland, and he is a superb doctor. I encourage you all to follow him as well online. I recently did a podcast with him as well. But he recently shared the following message in a tweet. Take a look at this. Relative versus absolute risk explained. Consider an umbrella that's advertised as 95% effective at preventing lightning strikes, framed as reduces your chance of lightning strikes by 95%. This statement highlights the benefit in relative terms, making the umbrella appear exceptionally effective. Well, 95% effective, where have we heard that before? However, let's scrutinize the actual risk. Being struck by lightning is originally about 0.0001%. In other words, 1 in a million. With the umbrella, it drops to 0.000005%, which is 1 in 20 million. The absolute risk reduction is merely 0.000095%, virtually negligible in practical terms. This is so important to understand, and I know that a lot of people who perhaps aren't trained in science or mathematics might find basic explanations of the difference between absolute risk reduction and relative risk reduction a little bit difficult to follow, but hopefully you can understand there. When you're talking about something which has a very low risk in the first place, then it is basically almost fraudulent to advertise such a large number, 95% reduction, when the chances were very low in the first place of something happening. What they should be telling you about is absolute risk reduction as well, so people get a more clearer picture of what is going on. Let's continue. Now consider the potential harms. Assume the average risk of tripping and sustaining a serious injury is about 1 in 10,000 for the general population. With this cumbersome umbrella, the risk increases to 1 in 800. Expressed in relative terms, the risk of injury increases by 12.5 times. Yet this significant relative increase in harm is often downplayed or expressed in absolute terms to minimize its perceived impact. Did you all follow that? When it's something that the pharmaceutical company or the medical establishment wants to push, they're very happy talking about relative risk reduction. But when it comes to something potentially harmful or something that they don't want to highlight, they then switch back to absolute terms. I've seen that done before. It is also, in my opinion, fraudulent. They should be clearly stating both numbers. They must always state very clearly what the absolute risk is of everything, whether it's a benefit or a harm. This shift in how risks are presented, emphasizing relative benefits and downplaying relative harms, reflects a common tactic in pharmaceutical marketing. By highlighting the enormous relative decrease in rare risks like lightning strikes and framing more common risks in absolute terms, marketers can skew perception towards the benefits while underplaying the drawbacks.